Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, February 6th, 2025. Guys, I tried something different today. I made a little live stream is loading video media little thing. Did it work? Did you guys see it? I don't know. The thing that I don't like about it is, and I didn't know this, that StreamYard, the service that I use to do my live streams, when you have a video like that, it blocks out my microphone. So I was going to hum a song as the kind of like live stream is coming song, but it wouldn't let me do it. So I don't know. So I don't know if that worked. Andrew said he got 2 commercials. I did turn the ads on it, so I guess you're supposed to get an ad. But then I was hoping that the ad would take like 5 seconds to get through, and then the live stream is loading graphic that I made is 11 seconds long. So I figured if it takes like 5 seconds to get through the ad, then you hit skip, you should still get some of the live stream is loading. Do you want me to play it again so you guys could see it? Here's how it goes. This is what it was. And then when it ends, it just comes to me. So that's what I had it set up for. So I don't know. Terry says he saw the loading graphic with the countdown only. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is. But Andrew says one ad wasn't skippable, the other was skippable at 4 seconds. All right. So then here's what I'm gonna do. From now on, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna hum for like 30 seconds at the beginning of the live stream. Does that work for everyone? Should we do that? Should I just hum? Because here's like the other day I was gonna hum like the girl from Ipanema, that one. That one. You know what I was in my head today? I was just coming down here and I was thinking I was just gonna sing the song from the Wii. And I was just gonna go on for an uncomfortably long time. So I don't know. I just want to make sure that everyone's able to watch the whole thing, because everyone, I think, depending on how you get in, and how I start it, I'm not sure. We're figuring it out. Yeah, Brian's saying, is that the Me song? I think it is. When you're making your Me on the Nintendo Switch, that's the song. I like that song. That song gets stuck in my head all the time. Like when I'm at the grocery store, I'm just walking down the aisles. That's what I hear. Vanessa says, your humming creates a new game. Guess the song. That is a game that I've made up before. And I played it with my nieces and nephews when they were much younger. And it's called Hum That Tune. And so someone would have to hum a song and then everyone has to guess. And the first person that guesses it wins. And then they have to hum a song that they know. And so like the ages of the nieces and nephews varies quite a bit. Everyone's old now because I'm old now too. But when we were doing it, like the oldest were like 16, 17, and then the youngest were like 2, 3, 4, So that is a fun game. I feel like if you never know what to do with kids, you should play Hum That Tune. That's a nice little icebreaker because it's pretty funny, and kids usually get pretty into it. All right. Let's see. Getting back. All right, we've already gone really far afield so far. It's just the first 5 minutes, 4 minutes of the show. But I do want to say hi to everyone that's also listening on the audio only version on the podcast. Today's episode, I'm sure, was very weird for you. Thank you for hanging in there. And hopefully you guys are safe when you're running. Today, it was super icy on my run. It wasn't like an ice storm, but I just think I don't know what happened. I don't remember it raining, but there was like a thin layer of ice on everything. And so I was able to run, but like certain parts were a little bit sketchy. So hopefully you're experiencing a perfect texture for running wherever you are. And for everyone else watching this number later, but not live, you're watching the #1 running live stream where you have to hum that tune with humming. We're the #1 humming running live stream on the internet. I feel like that's something we can do. All right. Today, what I got planned is we bought a. Sorry, I'm still feeling a little bit sick. But we got a bunch of shoes last time. I didn't weigh them, so we'll weigh them and we'll get them added to the shoe sheet. And then we also have a couple more packages to open. One is running related, the other is not. But I think you guys are gonna like it, so we'll see. All right. Martha says, you guys have no ideas about the musical brainworms we professional musicians get from rehearsals and concerts. I bet. That comment though, Martha, reminds me of the time that Homer had to go to a band concert, to Lisa's band concert, and they were driving home real fast, and he was singing, what was it, like the 1812 overture? He was humming it on the way home, and Lisa was like, I reached him. Brian Lang says it's in the 70s in Atlanta. That's where my wife is this week. She's in Atlanta. So we were both gone for work last week, and then she came home for the weekend, or like a day, and now she's back in Atlanta. And I was just thinking about going to Atlanta because I was just thinking about the USATF Half Marathon Championships. That is going to be held during the Publix Atlanta Marathon. There's a half marathon as well. And I was thinking, oh, that might be fun. I could do two things. One, I could run the 5K the day before because, I'm trying to run more 5Ks. Like race them, And then, or at least just embarrass my body a little bit by doing a bunch of them. And then go watch the pros do the half marathon the next day. So I'm thinking about it. But I'm not sure. It just came into my head now, Brian said, I'll drive you around if you come here. Not sure if Drew lives here. Drew moved out to Colorado, so he's not there anymore. But I was just looking at the map primarily. If there's a way that I could see the athletes, well, one, I'd like to be able to get media credentials. Two, if I could get the athletes at one other spot. It looks like it's kind of a loop. So maybe if I can rent an e-bike, I can get around way and then come back for the finish. I'd love to be able to do that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to map out. Brian, maybe I'll message you later, see if that's feasible or not. Or if anyone else has run the half. I haven't been back to Atlanta for that race weekend since the trials. That was in the before times. Alex says it's a great 5K. Is it? Is it hilly? I bet you it's hilly. Everything in Atlanta is hilly. No one ever mentions that, but Atlanta is one of the hilliest places. Brian says there's good vantage points. I got a bike and scooters are around too. Okay. Oh, okay. And Alex says you can get them twice. Oh, all right. Well, maybe that's a thing we got to do. Maybe we'll all hang out. Yeah. Okay. Benjamin Davis says it's very hilly from what I remember. The 5K is? Because the 5K is the day before, right? Yeah, and Benjamin Davis, I did oh, okay, yeah. He's saying the 5K was hilly. He did it the weekend of the trials. All right. Maybe I'll still do it anyway. It's still going to be good medicine, I feel like, So maybe I'll do that. Oh, it's sounding. Here's the thing. I already have so much travel that I'm doing. Let me look at my calendar. So it'll be the weekend after I get back from Africa. So I don't know. I have to think about it. I got to think about it. I really want to do it, but following pro level athletes for a half marathon is so hard because they're so fast. Okay. Let me think about it. All right, let's get to some packages. No, let's get to the shoes first. Let me get out the shoe sheet because we got to get that ready first. Here we go. So many button pushes to do this. If anyone from StreamYard is ever listening, it takes way too many button presses to get a window tab that I already have open up on the screen. But anyway, here we go. I guess we gotta first we got to clear out all these colors. And then we got a couple of things here. We got from Solomon. We got the S-Lab. What is this? Glide. It says Glide on the box, but it's the Ultra Glide, right? That's what I think it is. I should probably take this shoe for a run soon. We've got the, because I'm thinking about taking it to Africa. We got the Brooks Hyperion 2. And then we've got the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. And I don't know, it's just a different colorway. It's white and magenta. Okay, so we'll get these 3 up on the scale. So, you know what? You know what's interesting to me? Is that I was looking at, so I interviewed Rory Linkletter. That came out yesterday. And by the way, I made a new podcast. It's a spinoff of the Kofuzi Run Club podcast. For those of you who are listening and didn't catch the Rory Linkletter interview, and you're like, oh, I didn't know. Why didn't I hear that? It's because I made a new podcast called Bonus Episode. The technical name is Bonus Episode with Kofuzi for search purposes. But it's called Bonus Episode. And the idea was some people might not be into both the live stream and the athlete interviews. So I just separated them out. So that way people don't think that Kofuzi Run Club is athlete interviews and then they follow the show and then they're getting all these live streams and they're like, what the heck is this? So I just made it a separate one. So right now it's in Spotify only. It takes time, like a few days for it to show up on Apple Podcasts. I'm using Anchor to create it all and manage it all. That's what I use for the Kofuzi Run Club. Just was easier to do it the same way. So anyway, I was interviewing Rory, and he said that he was using the Marathon Majors colorway of the Deviate Nitro Elite 3. I don't think that's what it was. From the few clips that I saw, I'm not sure that that's what that was, but that's what he said it is, so I'm going to believe him. But it was a good interview. It was a lot of fun. Sorry, guys. Throat is scratchy. I got tea in here today. Whew. Brian says, you got to put your name first in the title for SEO. No, I want it to be bonus episode. All right. So anyway, we'll measure that one anyway because I have the Olympic colorway for the Deviate Nitro Elite 3. And I know it's a different weight than the regular Nitro Elite 3. There was something else I was going to mention about that too. I think that's it. All right, let's get some shoes on the scale. And by the way, I've been running every day, just doing easy running. I really want to test out one of those Anta shoes that they send, but I just don't feel great. And I know I probably shouldn't be running as much as I am if I want to get healthy, but except for the occasional coughing spurt, I do feel pretty good. It's just frustrating when you got a little cold and it lingers. Oh, this is a surprise. Okay, we got some weights here. Okay, so let's go to this sheet. This shoe comes in at 11.1 ounces and 314 grams, 0 miles, right shoe, size 9, and trail. And next we've got the Brooks Hyperion 2. Ooh, it feels very light, which the Hyperions always have. I wonder why they got rid of the blue foam. I really like that blue foam. Oh, this is nice and light. 7.0 ounces and 198 grams. Now let's get this Puma. The insole is not removable, although the glue is not very strong, it seems. Oh, interesting. All right. This one comes in at 7.0 ounces and 200 grams. Also 7.0 ounces. Okay. So let's get these highlighted and then up on the board. Okay, here's the part that I always mess up and freak out. Data sort sheet by column D. Okay, there we go. I think I did it right. The Hyperion 2 is lighter by 2 grams than the Deviate Nitro Elite 3. Oh, it is lighter. It's light. This one's even lighter than my Olympic colorway. Oh, by another 2 grams. Doesn't make a huge difference, but that's interesting. I was not expecting that. And then the Solomon comes in at the same weight as the Skyward X. The Skyward X is the same size, same weight. It's 2 grams heavier even than the Ultra Glide. Oh boy, interesting. All right, some shoe weights for everybody. Leona's here. She said, woo, made it just in time for spreadsheets. You guys never thought spreadsheets could be so much fun. I always knew. I had faith. Yeah, Frank says something is funky because there's one shoe with 200 grams and 7.1 ounces. I don't know. I'm only going by what the scale says. I have a feeling it has something to do with the specificity of my scale when it comes to ounces. It only goes to one significant digit. You know? That's what I think is happening. It's confusing. Leela is doing spreadsheets while watching Ko do spreadsheets. How fun. It's like a spreadsheet inception. Yeah, Leona says, Shannon found a Lego of a guy doing spreadsheets and we thought of you. She sent me the picture of that. And I was like, is this for real? Can I buy that? I wanted to buy it. Coco says, are you going to open a museum one day for all the shoes? I don't think so. I'm not planning on it. But although at some point, maybe it becomes like a thing. You know what? Maybe like one day at like, you know, because I was watching some coverage of the Run show, the one that's in Birmingham. Manchester. Birmingham. The one in the UK, not the Boston one or the Chicago one. The Run show there. And it's like Running Channel had a booth. Ben Parks has Ben Parks having a booth makes a little bit more sense because he sells so much merch. But it just feels like, I don't want to say regular people, but it seems like just regular people are all having booths. I think it would be fun to have like a booth at an event like the Run show and just bring all my shoes there and everyone can look at them. I would be worried that someone would steal them, so I guess I would need to hire a security guard, and then I'd have to figure out a way to transport all these shoes. Transporting all the shoes isn't that big a deal. Just get a bunch of boxes. But then the shoe racks, these bookshelves, they're annoying. So I'm like, this seems like a lot of work. So I don't know. Brian says I could do a roadside attraction. Biggest shoe made of shoes. I wonder what the biggest shoe made of shoes is. Johnny Dodgen says, just come to the running show next year. Yeah, it looked like you had a lot of fun, Johnny. I saw some of your images. It looked good. I want to go. I tried to work it out with them. I was in contact with them. But I think they were really more interested in me going to the Boston one. And then for years, every year, they're like, hey, would you be interested in coming to the run show? I'm like, it's not going to fit in my calendar this year. And they're like, do you want to advertise it to your audience anyway? We'll give you free tickets. And I'm like, not really. I'm not going to be there. It's confusing. People ask me for that kind of stuff all the time. People ask me to like promote stuff that I'm not going to be at. And they're like, well, it's something that would be interesting to the community. Like, yes, I get that. But like if I'm advertising it, then people will be like, wait, you're advertising for a thing you're not going to be at? That seems weird, you know? So I never usually do. But I guess if you really want free tickets to the run show, let me know. I can find you one, I guess, maybe. Or find someone that's going. Like I bet you like the Runner Beans probably always has free tickets, you know? Constantino Michael says, I'm going. I went to the run show Boston last year and it was pretty fun. I'm going again this year. See, I feel like the run show, I don't know exactly what it is. It kind of feels like an expo without a race to me, which I'm like, sometimes I'm like, that's weird because that's the thing I want to do least during a race weekend. But if I'm not racing that weekend, the expo in theory could be a lot of fun. And I also sometimes feel like it's like the running event, but instead of being for like shoe buyers, it's for just the general public. So I feel like, you know, I'm really interested in going. I wish it would have worked out for me this year. Vanessa says Clayton, Missouri has a high heel made of shoes. It might be the highest. Since when did they have that? I used to like be in Clayton all the time. That's where WashU is. It's in Clayton. I don't remember seeing a big high heel. That must have been after my time there. GMWBZ says, do you prefer the Adios Pro 4 or the Puma Nitro 3? So two things. First, this is a question that a lot of people have been asking me lately. I don't know if is Adios Pro 4 out now? Is that what it is? And I'll answer that in a second. But the other thing about that is, you said the Puma Nitro 3. I'm assuming you mean the Deviate Nitro Elite 3, like the shoe that I just showed you. You guys? This one? Because there's the Deviate Nitro 3, the non-Elite. There's a Deviate Nitro Elite 3. This is the Nitro Elite 3. What did I just say? Deviate Nitro Elite 3. That's the racing shoe. And then there's a regular Deviate Nitro 3, which is not the race shoe. So those are two different things. But since you're asking it to compare it to another race shoe, I'm assuming you mean the race shoe. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can let me know in the chat. But these two shoes, I think, are two of my favorites. The race shoe, the Puma race shoe, Nitro Elite 3, which Rory Linkletter always calls it Deviate Elite 3, and I've been calling it the Nitro Elite 3. And now I just don't know what to call it anymore. But anyway, that shoe was my racing shoe of the year last year, 2024. Adios Pro 4 is a 2025 release. They're both top tier. And I think for a lot of people, the answer for which one is better is going to be very much dependent on you. The question is, but what do I prefer? I think I prefer the Adios Pro 4 because of the fact that like it's built more for my kind of stride. I feel like I like the Deviate Nitro Elite 3 despite the way it's constructed. So I feel like the Nitro Elite 3 is built for people that like the Metaspeed Edge over the Metaspeed Sky. I feel like the Nitro Elite 3 is built for people that prefer Vaporfly over Alphafly. And so like, I'm not the target audience in Nitro Elite 3, but I still run in it really well and I like it a lot. So I feel like that's a testament to how good that shoe is. But I think in terms of personal preferences, I think I prefer the Adios Pro 4 for the marathon distance specifically. At half marathon, It's pretty close. Shorter than that, I'd go with the Nitro Elite 3, Deviate Elite 3. Hopefully that makes sense. Richard Wilson says, Conversational Pace had a great interview with Jamil Curry about his shoes. I saw part of that, and what's funny about that is that Jamil has been a shoe hoarder for a long time. He only has multiple pairs of shoes that aren't sold anymore, it seems. The last time I saw Jamil Curry talk about his favorite running shoes, all he had was a stack of old Pearl Izumi trail shoes. Now, Pearl Izumi don't even make, even then when I saw this video, they didn't even make trail shoes anymore. Like they were out of trail shoes, I think. I don't know if they are, to be honest with you, but it seems like they are. And so like Jamil has a kind of shoe that he likes. When he finds it, he buys a bunch of it, and he doesn't dabble with new stuff. But the interesting thing is, that being said, all the shoes he talked about on Conversational Pace were all new stuff from the original video that I saw. But then even then it was like stuff that like isn't being made anymore. These weird Mizuno trail shoes that I'd never seen. It's wild. It's wild. He's a different kind of guy. You know what I mean? Sega Dreamcast says the Adidas Pro 4 is finally available. I love them so far. Likely my marathon racer this year. I think I saw a colorway just come out for this shoe that was a Tokyo colorway that was yellow with blue stripes. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's like it's like Adidas forgets that they're a sponsor of Boston sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, or they're trolling us. Like, if you're going to make a yellow Adios Pro 4 with blue stripes, that is a Boston colorway. It's not a Tokyo colorway. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just blew my mind. I was like, Megan Rice says, I used to live across the street from WashU. Definitely miss running through Forest Park. I miss it. I miss the times. You know? I was there a quarter century ago, 25 years ago. It was different then. It was a different time then, you know? Paul Cargo says, I finally got a pair of Evo SL and did my first interval session in them today. They are incredible. The hype has been justified. I really think that it is. I think that it's one of those shoes. I like it for a number of reasons, not related to running. I mean, it's a great running shoe. I feel like at $150, it's hard to consider a $150 shoe a value, but you can use it for so many things. And for a lot of people that want one and only one shoe, that's a pretty good one to have. But I also, what will be interesting about it is to see how much momentum it picks up on the streetwear side. Because they are aggressively advertising it as sports style. And it's also a really good running shoe. And so, like, I always feel like a lot of times running shoes that look interesting but have a big streetwear appeal tend to become really bad running shoes very quickly, like Ultra Boost and Vapor Max. And I want both of those to come back. Ultra Boost is making a comeback as a running shoe. It's getting better. I don't know if I can say, but I've tested other things and I'm excited. I can't say much more than that. But anyway. But I feel like the Vapor Max is gone. That's never going to become a running shoe. I guess they were like, we're never going to give you back Vapor Max, but here's Pegasus Premium. You know what I saw an ad for just today, this morning? I saw an ad for Nike's. I've been advertising heavy on YouTube. Super annoying. But a shoe called the Pegasus Wind, and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this doesn't fit in the 3x3 grid. There's Pegasus Plus, and Pegasus Premium. What is Pegasus Wind? I couldn't figure it out. I don't know. Herm loves the Evo SL. He says it's the best shoe I've ever worn. It's good. And it works for a lot of different runners. And I'm like, it kind of like blows my mind that so many people like it. Because I'm like, normally it doesn't go that way. There's so many different preferences and different sizes and running styles and the way that people want to use shoes that when a lot of people like a shoe, it's usually pretty unusual. But I mean, that's what makes it. I think for a lot of people, it's going to be a shoe of the year. I just watched the. I didn't watch it. I saw that it was published. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch the whole video, but Believe in the Run. I saw like they did like a trailer reel or story or something. Between the two shoes of the Neo Zen and the Evo SL, and they were like, these two shoes are very similar, and they're both probably going to be in the discussion for shoe of the year at the end of the year. And I couldn't disagree more. Neo Zen's interesting. I wouldn't call it excellent. I don't know. What's here? Here, I'll tell you some inside stuff that probably I don't know if the brand would want me to say this or not. But I'm at TRE, and something that I've realized over the years, interacting with a variety of people at a variety of different brands, is that a lot of times there's arguments within the brand, healthy stuff like here's the direction that I think this franchise should go, or here's the I think it should go a different way. And every once in a while, like I'll get asked to hop on a call to get my thoughts on stuff, just so that people would be like, yeah, here's what the public thinks. I'm there as like a public representative, I guess, a cheap focus group, I guess, something like that. And then, so like, that's not that new to me. I'm always flattered to be asked to chime in on that kind of stuff. I usually don't know who's like advocating which position or another, or I don't even know what the argument's about, but people are like, tell us about this. And what do you think about it not having this kind of material in it? Or what do you think about it having this kind of material in it? So those are the kinds of questions. When I was at TRE, I got the sense that there's an argument over the direction of Neo Zen and perhaps even all of the new Energy Light shoes, these super squishy ones like Neo Zen and Neo Vista, you know? So they're handing me this pair of shoes. And they're like, we really want you to review it honestly. I'm like, got it, no problem. And they're like, if you have critiques, we'd love to hear about it, whether it's in the video or you can contact us directly or both, however you want to do it. I'm like, yep. And they're like, and if you really want to critique it, be very, very honest, very honest. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. You don't like this shoe the way it is. You don't like the direction, and you want your colleagues to hear about it. But on the other hand, it could be, I stand by this shoe, and I told that guy to rip it to shreds if he had any problem with it, and he still said it was good. It could go either way. I didn't really get a sense of it. But that's what's going on with this shoe, which makes sense in terms of my own internal monologue of what's going on. Not monologue, internal speculation as to what's going on at Mizuno. Mizuno's Neo Zen and Neo Vista are a big risk, a big departure for Mizuno. I don't know how big they are. I don't know how many risks they can really take in the running space. But to do this is a significant departure from what everything Mizuno has been doing, pretty much. And so, like, people are going to be nervous about it. And I also think that, like, an Asian company, there's a lot to be said for inertia and doing things the way that they've been doing it. To do things that are radically different is very scary for them. And so I'm glad that they're doing it. I love the direction. It's just, I don't think it's an Evo SL, you know? Sega Dreamcast says, did your Neo Zen feel big? I feel like I need to go down a half size with it. I could see that happening with some people. It felt a little bit imprecise, is I think the best way I can. It felt kind of baggy. And when I saw, and I was like, I don't know if that's just my first impression of the shoe was seeing Connor from Running Warehouse wear his pair, which I don't know if that video's come out yet, but we did a episode of shoe spotting when we were in Austin at TRE, and he wore his pair there. And it just looked way baggy on his foot. It looked kind of sloppy. And I kind of got that sense from the Neozen as well. Like, I'm almost never going to recommend people a size down just because of the way that running shoes are and how for most people, I don't think they realize that like a running shoe size is probably bigger than your dress shoe size. And so like I normally don't recommend for people to size down, but this one, I think probably the closest thing to me recommending to size down. But I still think for most people, just the regular size can be fine. Mark says the Evo SL is great, but it's a little narrow on my arch on the lateral side. Oh. I have a weird shaped foot. Yeah, I'm not even sure I understand your explanation there. Maybe it is a weird shaped foot. Danny Gugliuzza. Danny, I think you have one of the favorite names for me to say on the internet. Danny Gugliuzza says, sorry if I missed it, but have you tested the Cielo X1 2.0 yet? I have not. I saw that the Believe in the Run crew got a chance to run in it in Miami. I was also in Miami that weekend, but with a different brand doing a different thing. So I did not get a chance to test it out. I look forward to it. I was just looking back at some of my old, not that old, but I was looking at my best racing shoes of 2024, and I put Cielo X1 as number 5. The only thing about it, I love the way it runs. It's just a little bit heavy, a little bit big, you know? And so the main thing they changed on it this year was they made it lighter, a lot lighter. They also switched where the cutout is from being on the lateral side to the medial side, which like that cutout placement was the first thing that I asked them when I saw the Cielo X1. And so the changing of the cutout is the first thing I asked when I saw the Cielo X1 too. No, the first thing I said was, wait, Cielo X1 2, not Cielo X2? And they were like, no, it's Cielo X1 2.0, kind of like Formula One. I was like, okay. And then the second thing I was like, why'd you move was there any data or any feedback from the athletes that made you move the cutout from the lateral to the medial side? Because it seemed like a very intentional and bold choice to go to the lateral side. I don't remember their answer, but that was the second thing that I asked. Andrew says, as you've gotten older and have more miles under your belt, has your personal shoe choices changed, and has that had any impact on your reviews? I think the only thing that's really changed is that I'm more tolerant of shoes that don't agree with me. And so like when I feel like a shoe is firm, like a daily trainer, I'm like, I know, number one, that this shoe is not for me. And number two, I actually think that there might be some instances where I like that. And so it's changed in the way that I reviewed like the Diodora Nucleo 2. Nucleo 2. I keep saying it wrong. Italians were all up in the comments saying like, thank you for reviewing the shoe. We Italians are very proud of Diodora, but you're saying the name of the shoe wrong. So it's not Nucleo, it's Nucleo 2. I think. Anyway. So that's how it's changed. And also shoes like the Forever Run. Actually, I think I moved that to the other bookshelf. The Forever Run also helped me change my opinion on that. Of like, okay, this is stability, and I don't like stability, but this isn't. I could see myself liking this. It's a little bit different the way they're doing it. So I think that's like the main thing that's changed. Part of me is like, am I going to start liking firm shoes now? Am I going to be a Ghost fan soon? I don't know. Aging is weird. I don't rule it out. I don't think that'll happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. I don't think it's likely, but I could see it happening, that like your preference doesn't change. But I think the one thing that I've done as I've gotten to do more reviews and experience more kinds of shoes, and more importantly, read comments about the shoes that I don't like from people that love the shoe, is like who's liking it, why they're liking it, and what situations do they like it for. And so that's been really useful for me. I'm learning from you guys, you know? Milbert 5100 says, shoe recommendation for my first half, new slow runner. I think the best way that I can recommend you a shoe effectively is if you tell me what you're running in now and how much you like it. Because then I can give you an idea of like, all right, what would be a good racing shoe for that. And most likely, if it's for your first half, the best race shoe is probably going to be, depending on how old your shoe is, the shoe that you're doing a lot of your running in right now and that you're liking now. So that's kind of one way I would do it. All right, Patrick Odedina, the shoe question. He says, what do you mean when you say a shoe is fun? I ask this because I hear often from you and other reviewers, and I'm not sure if fun is the same as good. Fun is the same as good, I would say. But I think that, like, when I say fun, I also mean there's like a liveliness to it. So, for example, right now I'm reviewing the Nimbus 27. And the Nimbus 27 is a good shoe, but it's not like bouncy. It's well cushioned, but it's kind of like, it's like dropping a piece of, it's like bubble gum or just regular gum. It like absorbs impact, but it just kind of stays there. And that's what I'm getting from the Nimbus. So it's a good shoe, but it's not fun, you know? The 1080 version 13 was good and fun because it's just bouncy in a nice way. Nova Blast, Rebel 5, Evo SL, they've got movement to it. It's lively, it's dynamic. So that's usually what I mean by fun. Usually the shoes that are like really wide in the footprint are not as fun. Like even the Puma Mag Max. I like this shoe a lot. Very bouncy. Is it as fun? It's a good shoe. Very good shoe. One of my favorites. But it's just so wide. Maybe it's a little fun. It still can be fun if it's wide. But a lot of times when, like a lot of the stuff that Saucony did to basically all their shoes, they made them like a triangle wedge on the bottom. Like if you're looking at the shoe straight on, all the shoes kind of look like a trapezoid. It flares out, you know? It just takes a lot of the fun out of it. That's what I mean by fun. I think. No, it's an intentionally vague term. I think a lot of the times. James Johnson says, can you talk about some paradigm shifts in shoes? Like when the Nike Vaporfly 4% was released in 2017, Adidas and other sports shoe companies were completely blindsided and took some time to respond. Yeah, so my understanding of it and my conversations are coming from the brands themselves, which, you know, they're probably going to be a little less blunt about how much they were or were not blindsided. So, for example, like my conversations that I've had with Adidas, and again, I don't know if I'm supposed to share this or not, but this is the knowledge that I have. So they told me that when the 40 millimeter rule came out, they had already been very far along in development of their first carbon plated racer. But then the 40 millimeter rule came out. Because they had basically, in the absence of a rule about stack height, we're like, all right, let's get the best foam we can and put a carbon plate in it, because if you don't have the carbon plate in it, it gets a little bit too squishy, doesn't have the right pop. But, you know, so like they're like, let's put all the best materials to create the best running experience that we can. And that shoe for them ended up coming in closer to 50 millimeters, they said. And they were ready to go. Not ready, but they were getting close to like, you know, marching down the path towards production on that. And then the 40 millimeter rule, I don't know if it came out. I'm guessing it wasn't just surprise announced, but I'm guessing there was some scuttlebutt about this rule coming. And so they scrapped that one, and they basically had to keep reworking things until eventually they got to the Adios Pro 1. They also dropped that not so great shoe at the Adizero Pro. But anyway, they got the Adios Pro 1 eventually. And they told me in the context of the Prime X, because they're saying the Prime X, the first one, is closer to what they had originally envisioned as their answer to the Vaporfly 4%. And how much of that is actually true, I'm not sure, but that's what they told me, you know? And so like, um, yeah, I don't think that the brands were completely blindsided because you got to remember, I'm sure that there are some sort of trade secret protections and stuff like that, but people bounce back and forth between the brands, you know, and so they kind of know, and they also just kind of know what each other's doing. I don't know how they know, but whether it's maliciously or you know acquired information or not, I'm not really sure, but they all kind of know what each other's doing. But yeah, I think so. I think other paradigm shifts were, you know, um, in the early 2000s when I ran my first marathon in 2010. Everything at that time was very much about stability, visible technology, like plates that you could see. It had a little. That's when everything started getting a trade name, like the foams, the outsoles, the plates, the uppers. Everything is not just like, oh, this is just an upper that ASICS made. It has a name, you know. It was all about helping the retailer sell the shoe, you know. And so everything was like, more is better, more rubber is better because then it's more durable. It's a better value, even though it's an ounce heavier. More midsole foam is better, even though it's dense EVA, and more isn't always better when it comes to really dense EVA. And then more overlays, you know, all the designs that are coming back in style now in terms of sports style, like that was big. That switched. Everyone kind of attributes it to Born to Run, and maybe that's true or not. But everything then became very minimal. I think that's a bigger shift than maybe. I think that's as big a shift as carbon plate wars. And then I think the next. I mean, right now, I've been saying for a while that the next thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a war on the next battlefield is on weight, because the foams are getting better and better, and there's diminishing returns in going taller. And the next thing is going to be, we got this same foam, but you can do the same amount of it, same thing with it, but with less of it. So it's lighter and it's lower to the ground. You know, so I think that's kind of what we're going to see next. I don't think we'll go back to minimalism, but like I think we're reaching a far end of the pendulum swing in terms of like there's a lot of 45 millimeter stack height daily trainers right now. I think that's going to shift back. Sega Dreamcast says, have there been any murmurs about a new Rocket X? The current model has been out for a long time now. So the first time I went to Miami, which I believe was 2023, was when the Rocket X2 came out. So I think what's unusual is we got a Rocket X2 that year, and then last year we got a CLO X1. I suspect that because a certain other, I'll say competitor, outlet pretty much panned the X1, that I think probably this year we were supposed to get the Rocket X3, but instead we got a CLO X1 too. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? Sometimes I'm just talking and I don't know what I'm saying, and then I'm like, wait, which did I think I just messed up words. But yeah, so like Hoka has been like alternating. Like you get a Clifton one year and then you get a Mach the next year. You know, so they're not on a yearly release schedule for a lot of their shoes anymore. And so I thought it would be Rocket X2, CLO X1, Rocket X3, CLO X2. But then instead it was just CLO X1 2.0. Screwing things up, you know. Johnny Dodgen says, new Kofuzi YouTube series proposal. Mike creates his own shoe, guesting as a product line manager at a chosen brand, kind of like behind the scenes case study documentary. I think it'd be fun to go embedded, but I do not want to make any of these decisions. I've told you guys many times that the last thing that I want to do is to design a shoe, because it'll be a Homer Simpson car. It'd be a disaster. I'm not a shoe designer. I'm not a product line manager. I don't think I could be any of those things. I don't want to be any of those things. Yeah. So that I think looking behind the scenes would be fun. I don't know how much other people would like it though. Because I don't think that I would get a chance to really film like the arguments of like, no, it doesn't need a winged plate. A winged plate is just going to box in this foam. Like, let's put in a plate. Let's put in a regular plate. We can use better foams. Yes, it increases the price point or at least the cost to produce, but it's going to be worth it. You know, and the other people will be like, nope, our studies indicate that people want a more stable experience, and if we don't put it in there, it's going to be wobbly. And we know that our data indicates that 75% of the sales of these shoes for people that walk in it. You know, so but I don't think a brand would ever let me film that and release it. You know, the argument. So. Brian says, I need to have an audio delay, like Riot Live Radio, and have someone beep out things you shouldn't say. Runtime says, running shoe release says March for the Rocket X3, but that could be speculation. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. I don't think I saw it. I didn't see it at TRE. Hoka usually only shows me a handful of things at TRE anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Frank says, if I were to, he says, I feel like you would design something close to the Atreyu race model. Maybe. I think that just in my head, though, I would just recreate a Vaporfly 4% Flying It. That's just sentimentally, it's one of my favorite shoes. Whether I would really like it again now, I don't know. But yeah. All right. Eric says, box. Okay. There's only two things here. By the way, that one shoe that I didn't show you guys last time, it turns out that is under embargo until later. So I dodged a bullet there. I'm glad that I asked to make sure. I emailed the brand and I was like, hey, can you guys remind me? I just received the shoe, thank you, but can you remind me if there's an embargo? And they were like, this date, blank and blank date, firm embargo. I don't know what firm embargo means other than something else, but it tells me that they would have been mad if I accidentally showed it on the live stream. This is colorful stuff. All right. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this yet. It's from Rabbit. Let me check something real quick. Because if I don't see it. Okay, no, it looks like it's already on the website. Okay, I'll show it to you guys. All right, I don't think I'm breaking embargo. Look at this. Ooh, speaking of yellow and blue, from Rabbit. This is the material of that shirt that I showed you. It's very similar to that kind of, it almost like a long john material underneath. It has that like mesh fleece. It's kind of fleecy on the inside, but it's got all these holes to let extra heat out. Stretchy. And it's got elbows. Yellow elbows. For that Boston professorial running look. This is nice. There we go. That's one. Calvin wants to know, is Rabbit going to make a Speedster X but with a back pocket? I don't think so. I think, here's what, I can ask them, but I think here's what is going on. The material on the Speedster X is thinner, and because it is thinner, I'm thinking they probably removed the back pocket, one, to save even more weight, but also, I'm guessing if they loaded up that back pocket, the thinner material might not be able to hold those pants up. That's what I think. Eric says, K, not my favorite colors, but I get it for those who want to serious runner flex. I feel like it'd be, yeah. Stevie's saying these are high wear elbows. Yeah, you could flex on them with the high wear elbows. And Martha says it's good that Rabbit's providing traditional colorway Boston shirts since the BA only seems to do so every 5 years. Yeah, that's weird. I feel like if I were Boston, I would do blue jacket every year. I don't know. That's just me. And then I'm having a hard time envisioning wearing this right now, just like that Puma singlet they sent, because of how cold it is here. But here's the Boston singlet. It's like mummy tape, like mummy wrap. That's what I'm thinking, but it's blue and yellow. Is there a purple in here? There's a third color. Blue, yellow, and what's this other one? More blue. It's kind of purplish to me. Oh, but look, this is kind of like sparkly and like a carbon fiber-ish. It's not carbon fiber. But that's kind of, I think that's what they're going for here, right? But it's nice they got the year on here, and I like the material. The material is very similar to the Kofuzi Run Club singlet. No, this one has the laser cut holes on the side, these square holes. And then Sega Dreamcast says, can't wait for singlet weather to get here. I agree. And Andrew says, is it going to chafe with that placement? The sticker? I think that's where they always put it. So I feel like if it hasn't been a problem before, it shouldn't be a problem now. Lena says, love our Kofuzi Run Club singlets, sweatshirts in the future. I will tell you guys. It's not announced yet, but yes. Soon. And then here's the shorts. It's got the same little so if you're worried about chafing of the logo on the singlet, you can get the shorts over here. All right, there we go. That's how I can show it to you. Same design and same laser cut holes. I do really enjoy these 5-inch shorts. The back pocket's pretty generously sized. There's a key pocket up front, 2 key pockets up front. You can kind of fit gels in there too if you needed to. And then there's 2 gel pockets in the back as well, interior ones. So there's lots of pockets on these, and the material is like nice and flowy. So if you're not wanting to get all super sweaty and clammy in a half tight, that one from Rabbit. They make it without the Boston stuff too if you don't want the Boston stuff. But yeah, that's a good one. Oh, David DeFranchi says, did I just break an embargo by talking about the sweater? It's a bingo check mark. Okay. You guys can have the bingo check mark if you want to do that. Because it's not really an embargo, but we haven't announced it yet. We're going to have a call about it next week, I think. But you can check the box on the bingo card. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Eric Paramount says, embargo. All right. Juliana Mimi says, ha ha ha. Checked. Okay. All right. Okay. Fair. Well done, guys. Well done. All right. Changing the subject. Fisker says, any updated opinions on the Magic Speed 4? Nothing updated. I think it's good. I want it to be softer. I don't need it to be mushier, but like the FF Blast Plus foam that is the carrier is really firm. I think it's because, and I think this is the reason why we've never gotten like a Nova Blast with a plate in it, is if you take that FF Blast Plus foam in it and put a plate in it, I think it firms up that foam a lot. That's why I think the Magic Speed 3 was such a low stack height shoe, because when you make it taller, you get the Magic Speed 4, and it feels like it's taller and it's nice, but it's a little bit on the firm side. When you had it in the lower stack height of the 3, I feel like it still kind of felt like you were getting some squish out of it. I don't It doesn't seems kind of counterintuitive to think of it that way, but that's how I understand why the stack heights were the way they were. But I still really like it. But I don't like running easy miles in it. It was just too firm for that. And so like it's good when you're doing workouts. It was good on soft surfaces. I ran the Amazon Trail in Eugene on it, which same surface as like Pre's Trail, all those wood chips. That was pretty nice. That's where I really liked it. But I'm like, no, it's because that material is super soft, you know. And Patrick says, I enjoy the Magic Speed 4 for easy, super long runs with like 2 to 3 miles of marathon pace or half marathon pace. For the faster miles, I would like it, but I don't know that I'd like it for the rest of the easy part personally. Brian says, my Thunder Thighs don't like rabbit shorts. I can only use Lulu. Oh, okay. The rabbit shorts I have are designated to yoga only now. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Lululemon shorts are more forgiving. All right. We just hit the hour mark. Brian says it's a good stopping point. It is a good stopping point. Oh, wait. Here's what we'll do. I didn't get to open this. But here's something. I was going to save it to Monday really anyway. But I got some of this plant-based protein ramen in the mail. They sent me a variety pack. We'll do a mukbang on these on Monday. So that's what we'll do. That's what we'll say for Monday. I'm going to try to I'm going to eat ramen on camera. That should be fun. I can't imagine any problems with that. But yeah, so we have, let's pick one together. Which one do you guys want me to eat? There's 3 flavors in here. Spicy beef, because it's plant-based, beef flavor, garlic chicken, air quotes, flavor, or tom yum flavor. Anyone have any preferences? Thoughts? Yeah, no thoughts. I'll pick one. I'll probably go with the beef one. If you guys have any real strong thoughts about it, you can message me. Vanessa, says, I didn't like that ramen. Maybe you will. All right. Jack T said garlic chicken, and Leona said the tom yum. Maybe I'll just make all 3 of them. I'll make 3 bowls of ramen and just taste between them all. Okay. We'll just taste them all, I think. I'll try. All right. So that'll be Monday. So that should be fun. All right. For anyone racing this weekend, good luck. Anyone racing Mesa, good luck out there. Otherwise, be safe out there on your runs and your long runs. See you guys Monday. Thanks.